Tiff and Rach here.
We are the Nobodies, and this is our podcast. Welcome. We're doing something new. We didn't do this last week. We didn't apprise you of all of our weekending.
The weekend.
We're giving you a gift. The gift of the weekend.
We went on Saturday as a part of our pilgrimage to a very not structural integration thing to do on the weekend, which was known as Mayhem Fest.
Think fracas. Think
yes.
Confusion. Think frenetic energy. Think spice.
Think a lot of black and dark makeup.
A lot of fishnets. Some ice packs on heads.
Yeah. Well, it came with the name Mayhem.
Substances.
Well, so my dear friends from back in Canada, they are in a band that has done very well over the years. And my dear friend Tara was in town.
So cute.
It also happened to be the date of my mom's death 9 years ago. And Tara was somebody who was near and dear to my mom and myself. So it seemed apropos that we were
perfect.
We were going that way.
To a death metal show.
We were going to a death metal show.
Quite literally.
So it was honestly the most perfect timing. We stopped at Murrieta, which is a hot spring
spa
in Murrieta, California.
Murrieta, California.
Really beautiful place.
Nice grounds, well appointed.
Great body reading opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
And did we ever? We also basked in some mud bathing.
Some detox mud bathing. Yeah.
I'm currently holding a tea bag on my eye
because she's attuning to her eye injury.
I have an eyes thing going on, so I'm glad this is not videoed because it's quite a look right now. And we are.
It's a little corpsey.
It is. It
doesn't match your vibe, which is very lively.
I know, but maybe I should let them in on my little morning schedule thing. Our alarm goes off at 5, and this is
up like a limp daisy.
Oh yeah, she does. She's very limp. It's so limp sometimes and hilarious because she sleeps on a dog bed right now.
Yeah, so I have to eject myself in a type of way.
Yeah, but I have a thing, whether I'm here or at home, that I set my alarm for earlier than I need to be awake. And then when my alarm goes off, I prop all the pillows up behind me and I lay like a corpse.
She does.
And so I do a face draining corpse lay, I call it.
Her Vampia.
It's so, and it's just 5 minutes.
It's very October.
It really is. It's channeling my inner Wednesday Addams. So we, going back to Mayhem Fest, after this glorious afternoon of sunning and claying and sauna,
mineral bath and cold plunge, and twice we mudded and all of the things, it was freaking delightful.
Yes, we drove to San Bernardino, which seems to be not exactly the epicenter of I don't know. I don't want to say. It just has a real weird consumerism and then nothing vibe to it.
Yeah, it's a little spash.
It is. We got to the venue and we were parking in a random parking lot.
I will just add, we had a little Sweet Green stop off on our way.
We did.
Because we needed to nourish and we did not want to do a drive-through. So we looked it up, we pre-ordered, and we just picked it up and had our little no seed oil moment with our delicious, nutritious food before we went to the Metal Fest.
It was. And we were hydrated also, very hydrated from our day. We also brought our lunch to Murrieta.
We did.
So it was honestly, couldn't have been a nicer, more beautiful time. It was less than $300 for the three of us to spend the day
5 hours
there.
Basking.
And using all of the grounds. It was lovely. And
highly recommend if you're ever in Murrieta.
Yes.
Pop by.
Yes. Anyway. I know. It was a special thing. We're not playing the game that $300 is no money. It is. It's lots. But it was for something that we don't normally do, it was very nice. And at our current house, we don't have a water feature. So this was a good opportunity to use that. Metal Fest, Mayhem Fest. We arrived and Tiffany, I swear to God, it's like when you bite your tongue once, you're going to bite it 50 other times. And she has a calcaneus problem right now, aka the heel bone. And she stepped on probably the sharpest rock in the parking lot.
Right into the spot that feels like death and dying.
And so it was literally like mayhem before we even began. We got to the box office where our guest passes were, and they weren't there. They're like, it's at the other box office, the other side of the entire venue, which is an outdoor amphitheater. We ended up going and walking this path going, I guess we're going to miss the show.
And we found an angel named Todd.
Todd, the angel with the golf cart. And we were like, Todd, we have a problem. Our guest passes for this show that is about to begin right now are on the other side of this venue. He's like, I've never done this before. I've never taken fans anywhere. And we were like, Todd, you're the best.
And he put his fucking pedal to the metal. He used that quad that God gave him. And he
pressed it.
Got us there.
He did.
I will say there was one bump that we did have a little airtime on the back seat. And he said, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, I never do this.
He's like, I never have people on here.
So
and
good.
He was the most adorable little angel.
He
and
was. Thanks, Todd. If you're listening, we love you.
Yes. And we got to see the show and got to hang with my girls and Kitty. It's always lovely to be around women. And I'm like, this isn't just like a girl power moment, but those girls have been doing their thing for over 20 years.
Yes.
And it's a really empowering thing to see, like, that
badass women musicians who are strong in their craft, also strong in their bodies, and just really enjoying what they're doing, like really killing it out there. Like my first metal show, and I danced my ass off. I had the best time. I'm not a huge metal person, but the energy was fantastic, and their music was, I could tell that they were super passionate about it, and that's infectious.
Yes. Anyway, we did that, and then yesterday we went back to check on our boy.
Our handstand boy
at Black's Beach.
And he was there.
His butthole was out, sunning itself.
Oh yeah, he was charging.
And he's powering up for the week. And
he was still rotating that right shoulder.
And he was getting more and more kyphotic as the day went on. But
rounded in his middle back.
Yes. So, you know, Black's Beach, it's one of these, like, you have to hike down to it. It's like
they call it the Ho Chi Minh Trail,
yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
It's steps of variant lengths and sizes, which is somewhat hard to navigate when we as Americans and Canadians are used to everything being quite even. So there's these variant steps. Some of them are made of tires. There's bits of wood and there's rock, and it's all over the place. It is a freaking tactile delight for the feet. That's for damn sure. And we saw dolphins. We saw dolphins jumping through waves.
With the sun coming from behind, and you could see them magical. Like just the whole pod playing in the waves. They were surfing and with the surfers, and all the surfers were stopping. And I'll bet you there were 200 surfers out there along that beach side.
Just in awe of what was happening.
There were pods going back and forth. And as we went back up the Ho Chi Minh Trail, you could see the dark areas, which seemed to be almost like an area of like kelp forest or something that they must feed when the tide is coming back in. And the tide was high last night. And so it was an absolutely gorgeous walk back up, and just like really lovely way to end a weekend.
Yeah. And seeing those dark places took me to a place of considering where we're about to go, which is the messy middle. We are about to be in the core, but we're also about to be in the middle 4 sessions of this 12 series. And that's where things get messy and challenging, and where learning is put to the test, and not only for the client, but for us. And it's going to be a challenge, but we're ready. We're ready to face it, and we are comfortably uncomfortable. And that is a place where real learning and growth can happen.
We've been also living there for a while.
Yeah. Brene Brown talks a lot about the messy middle and the bravery and the vulnerability it takes to be there. And we're excited to continue this journey, to go even deeper into those dark places where things get murky and things get confusing, and you really have to be with what is, which is the challenge of this work and of this life.
I don't think it could have been a better lead in and appropriate setup than to go to the deep dark core of the metal world and to go into our deep dark, sometimes soft and gooey, but mostly hidden pockets
of bondage.
Bondage, exactly. That lives in
It lives in the goo.
It does. It lives so deeply in the goo.
The sinewy, hard armory bits are deep within the goo.
And
we're going there.
Yeah, and we just unpacked everything that is the most held on the outside that armors that place.
Those 4 first lines, the superficial front, superficial back, lateral and spiral lines, are like unwrapping the present so you can get to the core.
Woo! Here we go.
We're careening off the edge.
Yes, we are.
And you're going to hear about it this week. Aren't you excited?
Yeah.
We're so grateful you're here listening. We hope that you'll rate our podcast, that you'll share it with your friends. We want people to start to learn to know themselves. And we hope that sharing this experience will get you curious about structural work, get you curious about yourself and your position and how you hold yourself back, how you push yourself forward, what's open, what's not. Okay?
We definitely appreciate your attention because attention is everything.
Bye.